Let's dive into One Piece Chapter 1157, the complete chapter right here. Then let's go roll it. Hello everyone, welcome, and yes, we have the full chapter here today. But before we start, to help the channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That really helps a lot, alright? Let's begin. Cover story. Substitute Pilgrimage of the Golden Harvest of the Oni Child Yamato, Volume 39. To protect the city, he fought against Kaido, but died without leaving even a body behind. I wonder what Kaido did to that hero. Probably pulverized the guy completely. The chapter opens with a note stating that the Rocks Pirates have been formed. They are seen raiding the International Charity Union Temple, Fat Colony. It quickly becomes clear that the group is far from united. Ochoku, future Wang Ji, and Lin Lin, future Big Mom, are in the middle of their escape. Ochoku shouts that they've taken everything and need to get out, while the head monk tries to stop them, claiming the money is meant for underprivileged children. Lin Lin, however, calls the monk a liar. At that moment, the Den Den Mushi begins to ring. It's Kaido and Newgate, trapped at the bottom of a pit, asking for the last elevator to be lowered. Ochoku, annoyed by the noise, calls out to Shiki, who casually admits he forgot about them. Shiki then throws a bomb into the pit, which explodes, and laughs, saying that now there will be more money left for them. Ochoku calls them idiots. The head monk realizes the plan has been exposed and asks about the Navy's arrival. One of the monks responds that they are close. The head monk orders the temple to be locked down, and the gates slam shut. Stussy notices the bars are made of iron, while Lin Lin realizes the intention was to trap them and decides to destroy the gates, telling Bokihan to get out of the way. In the next moment, something catches her attention. Tidal waves and cracks in the water appear around the temple. Newgate is using Shima Yurashi, the same technique seen at Marineford. The Rocks Pirates begin to lose their footing. Ganzui thinks it's land subsidence, but Ochoku corrects him, saying it's an earthquake caused by Newgate. The temple is completely destroyed. Watching Newgate's power, Kaido admits he feels jealous and says he wants something like that as well. Newgate explains that if he's going to choose a devil fruit, he should choose wisely, as it will stay with him for the rest of his life. Kaido agrees. Kyo appears, furious, asking who caused this situation. Ochoku points to Shiki, who is floating, now officially confirmed as the user of the Fuwa Fuwa no Mi. Kyo accuses Shiki of betraying them, but Shiki responds ironically, pretending to be concerned. At that moment, Rox D. Seebeck steps in, irritated, and orders everyone to get moving. Kyo and Shiki start fighting, reminiscent of Zoro and Sanji's bickering. Meanwhile, Ganzui assures that the treasure is safe, but John points out something in the sea, several Navy ships surrounding the area. John warns that they are completely surrounded. Rox laughs at the situation and orders everyone to prepare to set sail, but Newgate is suspicious of how quickly the Navy arrived, wondering if the information had been leaked. Rox then changes his mind, ordering them to attack, sink the enemy, and plunder everything. The narrator closes the scene with a summary of the Rocks Pirates' feats in just 2 years of existence. Committed 16 assault incidents, sank 76 ships, burned 14 ports, destroyed 5 towns, overthrew 1 country, violated 3 special cases under Article 18 of the World Law, and had 25 criminal records erased. Although they sailed the same seas that years later would be home to the future Pirate King, Gol D. Roger, those few years of chaos came to be known as the Era of Rocks. In the New World, a world government agent questions Harold about his presence, ordering him to leave immediately. He reminds Harold that non-affiliated countries are considered lawless zones and that their inhabitants have no human rights. Harold counters, stating that it should not be that way and that the world government is not the supreme rule of the world. He demands the release of the captured people, recalling that when Elbof suffered from famine, that country had helped them for free, saving lives. The citizens plead with Harold to save them, and he declares that it is time to repay his debt, refusing to leave. The world government agent insists, reminding Harold that Elbof is still only a candidate for affiliation, and that protecting a non-affiliated nation could delay that process even further. Even so, Harold stands firm. The agent then shoots one of the citizens, prompting Harold to call them inhuman. He leaps onto the world government ship, where several citizens are being held hostage. Shortly afterward, the World Economy newspaper publishes an article claiming that Harold, king of Elbof, pretended to be friendly with the government and sank an innocent warship. In Elbof, at Ida's bar Rox D, Xebec comments that he had already warned Harold about the true nature of the government and invites him to drink at the castle. Harold refuses, saying he would never allow someone with such an infamous reputation to enter his country. Xebec provokes him, saying that Harold and all of Elbof should become his nakamas, as he can no longer stand to see him bowing to the government. Harold states that one day, Elbof will certainly join the world government. Xebec then questions the culture that considers shaving one's head a demonstration of sincerity. At that moment, Harold appears with his head shaved, just like in the portrait seen in Castle Ulst, though still with his horns intact. He comments that even Garp laughed at him when he heard about it. Surprised, Xebec speaks about Garp, saying that he hates his superiors and should just become a pirate. Harold, however, defends that in every organization there are worthless people, but the Marines are an admirable military force that helps people every day. He mentions that Elbof has already provided soldiers like John Giant and that he would like to send more warriors whose strength could be of great help. Xebec comments that this idea is dangerous and asks Ida to convince Harold. Ida responds that if Harold were her son, she would tell him to choose his friends wisely. Xebec complains about the remark. At the Marine headquarters, Kong explains that the giants of Elbof, just by turning over in their sleep, could crush nearby humans to death, and that if angered, they pose a grave danger. He questions whether such people can truly coexist with humans. Garp suggests simply placing them in a separate unit, and everything will be fine. Sengoku intervenes, saying that Harold is a sincere man trying to change the history of Elbof. Otsuru warns that there are rumors Harold is being invited by the Rocks to join them, and if that happens, even the Marines may not be able to stop them. Kong acknowledges the dilemma, recalling that giants are historically known for their violent nature. Garp, however, says he wants those qualities within Marine ranks, and urges Kong to make Elbof an affiliated nation. Kong responds that if it were up to him, this would have been resolved a long time ago. 42 years ago, in Hachinosu, a group of pirates stirs upon hearing important news. One reveals that Shakuyaku, captain of the Kuja pirates, has stepped down. The reaction is immediate. Shouts of surprise and outrage fill the place. Some lament that this means the chance of meeting her at sea has dropped to zero, calling it a true disaster. One pirate says he sailed the seas dreaming of being attacked by the Kuja with Shakuyaku on board, and another agrees, declaring their spring of youth over. Among the cries and laments, the name Shaki-chan echoes through the port. Meanwhile, Gloriosa wonders what Shaki is planning. Linlin speculates that perhaps she gave up leadership to chase after a man, comparing the act to Gloriosa's own past, implying that the island of women would eventually fall to love. Gloriosa retorts that someone like Linlin, who has children like popcorn popping, could never understand the suffering of love. She deems it unlikely that Shaki has been struck by the love sickness, but warns that if she is going after Goldie Roger, she will never forgive her. Stussy, eyeing Newgate, complains that everyone talks only about Shaki, but that he has eyes only for her. Newgate coldly responds that he has never, not even once, fallen in love with her. Stussy becomes outraged and introduces herself as the very popular Miss Buchan, but Newgate remains indifferent. Saying he sees no problem, she insists, shouting that she wants only him. At that moment, a commotion starts among the pirates as one rushes in with urgent news. The Kuja ship is at the coast. The reaction is instant. Shouts and shocked expressions spread through the crowd. Later, Big Mom and Gloriosa, who had already joined the Rocks pirates, converse. Gloriosa wonders what Shakuyaku is planning. Linlin repeats her theory about chasing a man, and Gloriosa repeats her refusal to forgive her if it involves Roger. Beside Linlin are baby Katakuri and Oven. Stussy again complains, and Newgate again rejects her, prompting more tension. Suddenly, pirates arrive with urgent news. The Kuja ship has arrived. In the next scene, the narrator describes that this is one of the greatest incidents of the era. Some pirates claim that a goddess has descended to Earth, and others say they can now die happy. Shakuyaku thanks Toritoma for the trip and asks to be dropped off there, wishing the ship's captain well. The Kuja ship had brought her directly to Pirate Island. The narrator describes her as a beautiful and untouchable flower from the heavens, now landing in a den of bloodthirsty beasts, explaining the commotion. Pirates confirm the location and question why she has come to such a filthy place, wondering if she will join the rocks like Gloriosa. Shakuyaku says no, she just wants to live there for a while. The pirates are shocked. She adds that even if she changes her life, the Marines will still hunt her, so she wants to hide there and trusts they will protect her. They promise they will. She complains about a bad smell in the place, but the pirates say they will clean it up. She says she wants to open a shop and they offer to build it immediately, promising even to plant flowers for her. At that moment, Rox D. Zebek arrives, asking what the commotion is. Nervous, the pirates beg him not to be angry, insisting it was their own idea, and plead for him to let Shakuyaku stay on the island. In the final pages, the narrator introduces the infamous Shaki's Ripoff Bar, 1-month waiting list, a legendary place in the history of Pirate Island, Hachinosu. Rox D. Zebek, surprised, asks what is going on. Behind the counter, Shakuyaku appears flawless in her bar apron, happily greeting her first customers and assuming they all want a drink. Upon seeing her, Rox, Newgate, Q, Marlin, Shiki, and John fall instantly in love, hearts popping from their eyes and mouths, exclaiming that there is an angel there. The narrator describes Shakuyaku as a peony, Shakuyaku in Japanese, that bloomed in a barren desert, blessing the island instantly upon arrival. In time, she would become the treasure the pirates could never afford to lose. Without a treasure, there is nothing to steal. While struggling to open something, she is quickly assisted by John. Zebek, delighted, comments that the bar smells amazing. The scene shifts to the authority chamber in Mary Geoise. Marcus Mars, a high-ranking member of the world government, makes an offer for Harald. As soon as Elbof's warriors fulfill certain conditions, their affiliation with the world government will be guaranteed. And the final condition is clear: kill Rox D. Zebek. The narrator leaves the question of all the conditions imposed on Harald unanswered, ending the chapter with the note that there will be no chapter next week. That was the narrated chapter. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. See you next time, and thanks!